A very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Design Meetup 2.0, powered by IXTF Kerala and co-sponsored by Experion Technologies. I'd like to invite everyone to type in what you do, the role that you're currently doing, or if you're a beginner, you can mention that as well as in the chat window if you're a UX student, aspiring UX designer who's just finished a course. Anything like we have some people who are from different roles. We have some developers, we have someone who's a translator. So it's all an interesting mix. And that's what makes these sessions interesting, right? We have students, we have working professionals, we have experienced professionals. So to talk about our topic today, prototyping is an experimental process where design teams implement ideas into tangible forms from paper to digital. So you can explain how user flows will work, communicate interactions with your team, test with users, and pitch designs to stakeholders for convincing them. So Figma is a great prototyping tool, especially because it's very collaborative, and I myself am a big fan of Figma. So our speaker today, Syed Azhar, is a UI designer, and he'll be taking us through prototyping with Figma. So talk a little about Syed Azhar. He prefers being called Azhar. Azhar is a UI designer, and he did his graduation in computer applications with his plans to become a coder. He then realized he was more interested in mobile applications, web applications, and design in general. So he learned UI and UX design, and he delved into the world of user interface design. He's from Kasaragod and not too far from Mangalore. When he's not working, he enjoys drives to the beach. He loves dabbling in the world of financial investments. He's interested in share markets and cryptocurrency. He enjoys fashion and styling, and he's an avid video gamer. So he's been working in UI design for a while, and his favorite quote is, if you can design one thing, you can design everything. Massimo Vignelli. So for the ease of a better experience, we've muted the audience mics during the session. Please feel free to put in your questions in the chat window. We'll take them up. Although we have an exclusive Q&A, you can drop in the questions anytime. And there you can interact and unmute yourself and ask Azhar your questions directly. A recorded version of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel. And for those who are just joining us, welcome to Prototyping with Figma, a guide to improve prototyping workflows by Syed Azhar. Over to you, Azhar.
Thank you, Vandana. That was really a nice introduction. So today we are going to talk about prototyping with Figma. What is a prototype? A prototype is a simple experimental model of a proposed solution used to test or validate ideas, design assumptions, and other aspects of its conceptualization quickly and cheaply, so that the designers involved can make appropriate refinements or possible changes. It lets you experience how the users would experience it actually. Use prototype to test and tune your designs, or share them during user testing studies to validate your ideas before investing in development. What is prototyping? Prototyping is an experimental process where design teams implement ideas into tangible forms from paper to digital. Prototyping allows you to demonstrate how a design will behave. This will be useful for design critics or for helping others visualize how a design might look and feel once the final product is built. So prototyping in Figma allows you to build connection between frames, define triggers and actions, and create transitional animations with easing to bring your prototypes to a higher fidelity. What are the goals of prototyping? Here we have three goals: interact with the product, fail quickly and cheaply, and bring ideas to life. Interact with the product. When designers want to determine and understand exactly how users will interact with the product, the most obvious method is to test how the users interact with the product. It would be useless, to produce finished product for the users to test. Instead, designers can provide simple scaled down versions of their products, which can then be used in order to observe, record, and judge based on the performance on the specific elements like general behavior, interaction, and about the overall design. Second one, fail quickly and cheaply. Prototypes are built so that designers can think about their solutions in a different way, as well as to fail quickly and cheaply, so that less time and money is invested in an idea that turns out to be a bad one. Third one is bring ideas to life. Prototyping also can be a quick and effective way of bringing your client ideas to life. So we can have our users or evaluators. We can have our users and evaluators, which we can make them to test our product, and we can get their opinions, and it also can be used to make improvements during an iterative process of design. So there are two types of prototyping. Low fidelity prototyping. So fidelity refers to the level of detail and functionality you include in your prototype. So the goal of low fidelity prototype is to outline a product's law and test the usefulness and usability of its functionality. So there are two types of low fidelity prototypes. One is sketches and one is paper prototypes. Usually, this will depend on product's development stage. Low fidelity prototypes are great for an initial test of an idea. Second one is high fidelity prototypes. High fidelity prototypes are more aesthetically pleasing, and their function is closer to that of the final product. So there are two types, like interactive prototypes and digital prototypes. So high fidelity prototypes are better for usability testing, as well as for getting a team's final sign off on a product design before development begins. So we can create digital prototypes on software like Figma, XD, and there are like several softwares out there. So high fidelity versions are closest to the final product. And it also enables you to predict how users will take it in the marketplace. Why it is important? So a prototype is not designed to be a fully functional version of a system, but is only meant to visualize the user experience of final product. So you can prototype not just screens, apps or websites. You can prototype almost everything, literally everything. So it will force you to think through a problem in more detail as compared to taking a solution through as taking a solution through writing the requirements on a specification sheet. So Tom and David Kelly of the design company IDEO, which is quite famous, have perfectly summed out the importance of prototyping by saying, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, a prototype is worth 1,000 meetings. So it will allow to do a lot of product discovery with your users. The biggest goal here is to learn something at a very much lower cost and in terms of time and effort before building the actual product. So it will save companies a lot of time and money. So prototyping is the less integral part of design process for two key reasons. One is visualization and another one is feedbacks. Visualization. Uh, Prototypes help designers, stakeholders, how the final product would look and function. So we get the feeling of using an actual product. Second one is feedback. So prototype generate feedback from team members as well as group of users. Clients can interact with the prototype and highlight areas that need to be improved. So getting early feedback and making updates in a prototype is much more convenient and also takes no cost as compared to making changes in the implemented system. So it will be saving the companies both time and money. I hope at this point you are little convinced about the importance of prototyping. So let's go into the prototyping process. So prototyping involves a three-step process. Here you can see a prototype, review, and refine and iterate. So prototype, first one, prototype is about creating a visual mock-up of your interface. And second one, review. In the next step, review. In this stage, we share the prototype with users and evaluate if it meets their needs and expectations. So third one, refine and iterate. Based on the feedback which we get from the second step, we need to identify the areas that are needed to be improved or clarified. So, and this happens in a cycle. Review, refine, iterate, prototype, review, and refine it. So it goes on until it makes the best solution. So prototyping best practices, do's and don'ts. So we should always work with users and stakeholders. So we need to work with users and stakeholders to get the most feedback and engage them in the ownership of final product. The second one is set expectations early. So setting expectations early lets you make sure that users and stakeholders know that prototyping is a way to get answers to specific questions and does not represent the final finished product. And the third one, make your high fidelity realistic. So we need to make our high fidelity prototype realistic, including response delays and stuff, all the animations and stuff, and everything so that the users and stakeholders are not disappointed when they compare it with the final product. So how do you choose a prototyping tool? There is a variety of tools available for prototyping, depending on your needs and approach. So before choosing a tool, there are some questions you need to ask. Like how much time would it take to learn how to use the tool? And does it support prototypes for the needs of my product, which could be a mobile app or web app? And does the tool allow me to share my prototype with others and gather their feedback? And so on. Like, can I use a predefined templates with this tool? Like, there are some questions. So you have to ask yourself these questions, and then you have to find the ideal prototyping tool which works best for you. So why Figma? So the biggest reason you should be using Figma is a real-time collaboration. This allows multiple people to make edits to the design at the same time and share their visions and ideas. This also offers a virtual whiteboard replacement, which is the key, especially if the teams are remote. Nowadays, all are working on remote, so it's the biggest advantage. And but let's talk about some other more features which makes Figma a great tool for prototyping. Prototyping in Figma allows you to build connection and also build connection between frames. We can define triggers, actions, and create transitional animations with also using easing options to bring your prototypes to higher fidelity. So I'll be explaining all that later on. So, so it is all in one tool. So Figma is one of the first all-in-one tools. Earlier, we used to use a tool such as Sketch. You would then have to use InVision, Abstract, or Zeppelin to create prototypes. And now with Figma, you can do all under one application. So it also has a feature of sharing a link to your prototype, so that the visitors can view that prototype literally anywhere. So they can also have option to comment on a prototype. So there are like lots of features. So improved collaboration. One of the largest benefits of Figma is that you can have real-time collaboration in modifying and creating mockups and prototyping on the platform. So this is especially important when you want to show exactly where to move an object on a screen instead of trying to describe it either verbally or written description. So next one, shared components and styles. So two of the most Figma's powerful features are components and styles. So they let you reuse UI objects and attributes so that you can maintain design systematically at scale. So next one is speed up mockups. So another benefit we have seen it in Figma is that ability to get on a call. Like we can pull up Figma and the team can start moving around with the objects on the design to show anywhere. Like we think things should be displayed and how. This to us is the modern whiteboard. So it replaces the modern whiteboard and easy prototypes. So one thing that can be a trouble to deal with the other design and mockup platform is converting mockup design into a click-through prototype. So this is where Figma excels. It allows you to turn your Figma mockups into a prototype with a few clicks. So with Figma, you will be able to allow users to interact with your prototype designs through subtle animations, such as clicks or while they hover, or you can easily share it by simply sharing the link. Plus, you are able to embed commenting in this prototype, which allows you to carry over comments to the design. So in the prototype, we can have advanced animation like smart animate to create a more detailed animation. And we can also add GIF, which I'll be showing later on. And we can add different kind of interaction like I'll be showing all those things later. So these are the different types of interaction: trigger, action, and animation. So these are the properties on the interaction panel which we get. So it is a primary feature of when building a prototype. So use them to show different behaviors, effects, and navigational patterns. They work by connecting two layers, and they determine how those layers will interact each other by adding trigger, action, and animation. So interaction can be simple with the instant animation, or they can be more complex with the animated elements that can move or change properties. So trigger, I'll explain about trigger, what that is. Trigger, this is the event that causes a change, like on tap, on drag, while hover, or while press, or while clicking a keypad, or mouse entering, or mouse extra, etc. So the trigger determines what type of interaction a user needs to take to start a transition. So this is the main thing. So it can be anything like while clicking or while hovering, anything. So the second one is action. The second property is action. So the change that is happening, like navigate to, change to, or if you want to open an overlay, or if you want to scroll to somewhere, etc. The action defines the type of transition that occurs when the trigger is happen. So when the trigger is happen, we want something to happen. So we can define that thing under action. So the final thing is animation. So the behavior of the change, like instant, dissolve, smart animate, move in, move out, there are like a couple of animation. This defines how the action moves from one starting point to another destination. So animation is all about defining how the action moves from one starting point to a destination. So there are like many interactions, like dissolve, move in, move out, push, slide in, slide out, or I'll be showing all these things. So yeah. So dissolve just fades into the destination, as you can see in this video. So moving in and out will slide the destination into or out of the original frame. So as you can see, this is the original frame and the new screen is sliding into this. So pushing is pushing the original frame and replacing it with another frame. So I'll be explaining all this later on. So we can all set this interaction by doing easing animation. So what are easing curves? So easing curves determine the speed during the beginning, middle, and end of the animation. So a linear animation will move at the same speed. The linear animation will move at the same speed, while an animation set to ease in will be slower in the beginning and speed up as it goes. I'll be showing some examples. So here I'll be showing you how to connect frames. So we can enter prototyping mode by clicking from the design tab to the prototyping tab at the top of this properties panel. So if you just click on prototype tab, we'll go to the prototyping mode. So this is where you construct and edit a prototype of your design. So the first step is creating a prototype. The first step in creating a prototype is determining where to start. So we should see where we need to start. So here I am starting in this frame. So in this example, I would like the users to tap on this image and start by selecting the image with the image selected. So in this example, I want the user to tap on this particular image. So as I tap, as you can see, there is a blue circular node appears on the right side of the element. So if I tap here, I'll be appearing. It literally, if you tap anywhere, you can see this circular node. So this indicates where a prototyping connection can begin. So it indicates where prototype connection can begin. So I can begin from here. So by clicking on this node and dragging a mouse to a connection arrow appears. So if I drag, a connection arrow appears to the other frame. So if we don't want this arrow, we just can drag into empty area and this connection will be disappearing. There is another way also. If you want to delete this connection, just hit on delete. So it will get deleted. So so when we connect
Azhar, there's a request for you to zoom in a little.
Okay. Can you see now properly?
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm explaining. So as you click on the image, there is a blue node. So this represents from where the animation is need to start. So I can drag it to the screen so that I want the users to click on the screen and I need to display this particular photo in a big screen, full width and height. So so soon as we connect, a small play box appears on the top left of our connected frame. So this indicates the starting position of a prototype. So this is the starting prototype. So if I delete this and I'll show you once again. So if I create a connection, soon as we create a connection, we can see a play button on top of this frame. So this indicates that this is the starting point. Okay. So this is a starting point. So we have option to change the starting point to here and the screen as well. So when we hit on the play button, this screen will be displayed first. So we want this screen to be displayed in the beginning. So so soon as we create the connection, we can see a pop-up interaction details. So now you can customize the interaction and animation, selecting a connection. So now selecting a connection will open interaction details pop up as it is, and you can view and select trigger. This is a trigger, and this is action, and this is animation. So you can view and select all these properties in this pop-up. So you can also add additional interaction as well. So if you want multiple interaction, you just can click on this. Also, you can add multiple interaction. So now I'll be adding only one interaction. So I'll talk about trigger. So I'll tell my what is trigger. So the trigger determines what type of interaction a user needs to take to start a transition. So this could be a mouse or a touch interaction, like a tap, drag, hover while pressing keypad, mouse enter, mouse flip, etc. So now in this particular example, I want user to click. So the trigger is to click on this particular frame, particular photo. So the trigger is click. And the next is we need to define what action we need to do. So action defines the types of transaction that occurs when the trigger is happen. So when the trigger is happen, here the trigger is click. So when the trigger is happen, we need to define what action it needs to take. Okay. So I want it to navigate to. So navigate to in the sense like if you click on this image, it will navigate it to next frame. So we want to navigate it to a frame called as mockup. So it will navigate. So and then, yeah. So after selecting your trigger and action, you need to select the animation. So this defines how the action moves from this starting point to this destination. So trigger is all about making all this thing like drag, hover, or anything, and action is all about how you need to move from this to this page, and animation is like how you want to animate from this to the screen. So here I want to do a smart animation. Okay. So there are like couple of animation like instant immediately takes user to the destination. So if you click on instant, it will immediately take user to the destination. I'll be showing an example later on. And if you click on dissolve fades in the destination on the top of the original frame. So it fades actually, and move in and out will slide the destination frame out of the view of the original frame. So it will be moving out. So as you can see, if you click on move out, you can see the demonstration over here. So by hovering on this, you can see how it actually works. So for everything, you can see demonstration. Ease and out, ease in and out. So you can see basically how it's gonna work. So if you want to click ease in, we'll see how ease in function works. So by looking into this, we can have an idea how the animation will happen. So if you click on moving, see how we can see how the moving thing happens. If you click on push, we can see how the push happens. And if you click on dissolve, we can see how dissolve animation occurs. So you can demonstrate by clicking on any of your animation over here. So here I'll be doing smart animate. So I just play this prototype. Similarly, we have a option called as easing option. So all animation options have ability to control their ease in. So easing refers the way computer smoothly transition from different keyframes. So it actually refers how the computer smoothly and transitions between two keyframes. So the keyframes over here is this and this thing. So it actually refers how the computer animates. So there are like different kinds of animation, like ease in. See, you can see a demonstration over here how it will animate. If you click on ease out, you can see demonstration how it's going to animate. If you click on ease in out, you can see. So based on your own interest, you can animate it in your own way. So I'm going to click ease out. This is one of my favorite easing animation. So now that we have created a connection, so this will open a prototype in a new browser. So if you want to play a prototype, you just need to click on this small arrow, or you can click on this. So it will open a new tab. So yeah, so it will open a new browser tab. So in our prototype, you will notice that if you click or like some other place, you can see a blue box which will flash. See, you can see a blue box which is flashing. So this is a visual indicator of an hotspot. So this actually letting us know that, okay, we need to click over here because we have created a connection in this particular image. So it will be easy for us to know, as well as the client who will be going through this prototype. So when you click actually on the area that are not linked on another frame, Figma will show the hotspot. So currently there is only one hotspot. So if you click on this, you can see how the animation happens. Yeah. So I'll be showing a few examples out there how to play around with it. So here I'll be showing how to do instant animation. So here, if I click on the next button, if you click on the next button, I need this pink screen need to be replaced by this yellow screen. So what I need to do is just create a connection, and trigger is on click because I want it to happen when I click on this next button. So navigate to, because I want to navigate completely to another screen. And here I'll be doing instant. So instant animation, uh, using instant animation to have the action takes place within no moment or effect. It will happen instantly. So I'll be showing it. So yeah, so here you can see the hotspot. See, the hotspot is next. So we can know that, okay, we have linked this thing. So if I click on this thing, it will instantly replace. It will instantly, that no animation. So this is how instant animation works. So instantly within next second, it will replace it to the screen. So we'll go to the next this thing. So here, I'd like to display a pop-up as I hover onto this small icon. So how will I do that? So here I need to click on the small icon and I need to connect over here. So the trigger is on click, so not on click while hover, because while I hover, I need to display this animation. I mean this tooltip. So the trigger is while hover, and I need to open an overlay because I need to display it as an overlay. So if you click on manual, there are options like center, top, and all. But if you click on manual, we can manually adjust where the overlay needs to be displayed. And there is an options like, close when clicking outside. So if you click on outside, it automatically close and stuff. So we have a lot of options over there. Yeah. So the animation I'll be doing is instant, because I want to display it instantly without any animation, without any delay. So I'll play this. As you see, as soon as I hover into this, you can see this tooltip. So here the trigger was while hover. So when the while hover trigger is happening, as you can see, tooltip will appear. And here, I love to actually when I need to when I click on this 3, I need to go to the third screen automatically. So here how it works is that click a button to scroll to a different section of the page with an animation. So I will click on this 3 button because I need to go to this section of the page with a smooth animation. So I'll connect to this frame, and the trigger is on click. So the action is scroll to, because we want to scroll down to this particular page, particular screen. So the action is scroll through, and animation is not instant. We want it to be little animated. So we'll animate, and we can choose any ease out options. As you can see, we can demonstrate over here. We can see how ease out works, how ease in out works, how all this works. So here a tab is called as time duration. So a duration controls overall length of a time of an animation in milliseconds. So it controls overall length of the animation in milliseconds. So I want this animation to happen in 400 milliseconds. Let's say, just click on 400 and just click on play. So as you can see a hotspot over here. Just click on it. See, as I click on this 3, it automatically scrolls to the screen. So the trigger was click and action was scroll to. So when the trigger is happening, the action which is actually scroll to. So it actually scrolling us to this particular page. So here is one interesting thing. So soon as I click on this hamburger button, I need this menu thing to be overlaid on top of the screen. So how shall I do that? So click on this hamburger, make a connection. So trigger is on click, obviously. We need to happen things when we click on this hamburger, and we click on open overlay, because we need to display this menu screen as an overlay. So just click on open overlay. So we need to be on the left side of the screen. So top left. So if you want to display in the right side of the screen, we can click on top right or bottom left or bottom right. So I need this thing to be stick to the left side of the mobile screen. So the animation I want to be as move in, because as you can see in this example, I need just to move into the original frame. So I need to move this into this. As you can see, it will be animating in this way. So as you can know, I can set any time of duration. I'll keep it as 500. And over here, this is the direction from which this menu bar should be animating. So I need to come from left to right. As you can see, if you click from left to right, it will be showing left to right. Right to left, it will be showing right to left. I need to come from left to right because the hamburger button is on the left side. So let's see how this animation works. So we can see hotspot link. So as we click, we can see this animation happen. So the next one, a simple thing, I just need to turn on and off this toggle. So just click on this and make a connection and navigate it to trigger is on click, action is navigate it to. So the animation is smart animate because we need it to animate smartly and in a very good way. So we can click on any ease out animation. So I'll be clicking on ease out. So animation duration, I'm gonna reduce it. I need to happen it click. So 200 milliseconds. So if you click on this thing, so when I reach to this screen, I need it to go back to this stage. So what we need to do is create one more flow and on click, navigate to smart animate and same thing. So here it will work. We just need to know when to apply, what trigger needs to be there, what animation, what action which we need to give, and what type of animation is suitable for such animation. If you know all those things, then we can animate literally anything. So this is an interesting thing. So as you can see in iOS phone, slide to delete option. So when I slide this first message, I want it to be deleted. So I'll be showing how to do that. So sorry, duplicate a frame and select this particular first message and just drag it till it moves out of this page. Okay, so I'll so I just need to give a connection, and here the trigger is on drag because we are actually dragging. So the trigger is on drag because we are actually dragging it to delete. So the trigger is on drag and action is obviously navigate to because we want to navigate from this screen to this screen. So action is obviously smart animate because we want it to animation happen in a very smooth way. And ease out, I can, yeah, this is my favorite, ease out. So duration, you can give any duration. I'll give as 400 ms. So I just play. See, as you can see, there's a hotspot. So there is some mistake. Okay, we actually moved that completely on outside. So I'll quickly move this thing. So I'll show you how it happens. On drag, navigate to smart animate, ease out. I don't want the flow to be, so I can just delete the flow by just clicking on minus. See how the drag animation happens. So so after that, I'll duplicate one more screen and I need this to move up. So here I need to happen this automatically. So what I need to do is, now the trigger is after delay because I need to happen this animation automatically. So I'll give a delay for 300 millisecond. Smart animate is out. So it will automatically move on to the top. As you can see, it will move to the top automatically. So here what I have done is that here I have give a trigger of after delay, because it should happen automatically without any trigger like click or drag or anything. So I have given after delay, and the time is 300 milliseconds. So this means that after 300 milliseconds, this animation will happen. So after 300 milliseconds of delay, it will move from this to this screen. And I've given out smart animate and is out. So one more thing is that if you want our navigation bar just to fix on that position, what we need to do is that just need to click on this, go to design and click on fix position. So I'll show you what happens if I didn't click on fix position on scrolling. It won't be visible because it will be down because it's designed below. So I want it to be fixed on this place. So what I need to do is just click on this, hit on fixed position. So what happens is that it will be fixed into this position. It won't move further. So I'll show you a simple animation of how we can do horizontal scrolling. So think that we have a long files over here, and we need to scroll horizontally. So what we need to do is click on this thing, go to prototype, and we can see a tab called as overflow scrolling, and make it to horizontal scrolling because we need animation to happen horizontally. Scrolling should be happen horizontally, and we need to pull this frame exactly size of this frame. And if we just create a flow and click on this prototype, and if you move down below, you can see how the scroll animation happens. And I'll show you what happens. If I didn't give a horizontal scrolling and as no scrolling, obviously no scrolling will happen. So we need to define properly that we need to scroll horizontally. That's it. And same way, if you want to scroll vertically, what we can do is that click on this, click on vertical scrolling, and this will be a drop down. So drop down obviously will be maximum 3 to 4 items. So click on this vertical scrolling and click on this create a flow, so that I need to play this flow. So if you just scroll it, vertical scrolling will be happening. So one more thing, this is a new feature called as interactive prototype. So this is a beta feature. I think Figma will be releasing it soon. So we can define radio buttons under variants. We can define under variants, and we can animate it under the variants itself. So this is a variant. So we can define animation under the variant. So I just give a flow over here, and I'll just give a trigger that on click, it should change to selected. Okay, change to selected. And same way, I'll click on this and I'll move back and on click to this thing. So what I need to do is I just need to copy this radio button and I just remove all radio button and I just paste it. So I'll show you how it works. As you can see, you can tap. Same way you can give a animation to a button as a hover. So while hovering, I want the button color to be changed to this thing. So give trigger as hover, and state is this button is hover state, and I want to animate to 200 millisecond. And same way, if you click on this button, I need to change it to this color. So here the trigger will be on click because I'll be clicking, and it will be changed to the selected button. That's it. So then I'll be showing how it works. I'll delete all this thing. So as I hover, as you see, because of the hover trigger, as you can see, the animation happens. So the next trigger was click. So as I click, as you can see, the button color changes. Same way it will happen everywhere. See, first trigger was hover, and the first trigger happened, the color changes, and the second trigger was click. So again it changes. So I'll just run through some of the useful and I'll just end the session. So suppose if you want to, I'll just show why the master component is very important. Suppose if you have a multiple screen, and if you want to link the screen to separate pages like favorite, it will be go to favorite and all this thing. It will be a huge time process because you will be having so many screens. So I'll be showing how you can do it easily. So we can define our animation over here itself. We need to create a master component, and I'll show you how to create a master component. So here's the normal navigation bar. So click on component over here. As you can see, the component over here, and go to prototype and define the animation. So if I click on timeline, it should go to timeline. If I click on favorite, it should go to favorites. And if you click on search, it go to search. And what you need to do is just need to copy this navigation bar and paste it everywhere. That's it. So as you can see, the animation is everywhere. If you click on every screen, the animation goes to everywhere. So it saves a lot of time. You don't need to go to see every screen and you need to define animation. No, you don't need to do that. Suppose it is very helpful if you're having multiple screens. You just need to create a master component, define all the animations over here, and just copy and paste this component over here. So everywhere this will be linked. So I'll be telling the importance of flow. So why it is very useful, the flow feature in Figma. So suppose if you're having dark option and light option, and if you want to show our client that, okay, we have two options like dark mode and light mode, how shall we do that? So if we have a flow option, like just click on one frame and click on flow starting point. So this will be a flow for dark mode. Also you can change it as dark mode. And this will be a flow for light mode. Also you can change it as a light mode. Okay, so just click on this play button. Also you can give some description like random description. I'll be just giving. This will be very helpful if you want to show something to client. So as soon as someone opens this, they'll be seeing two versions: dark mode, light mode, dark mode, light mode. So simple as that. So here I had given description called as something I've given as Figma tutorial. You can write literally anything you want over here. If you want to communicate to a client, you can write some description over here. So this is a very helpful feature of flow. Earlier, it was very difficult to demonstrate different flows in Figma, and now after they released the flow feature, it is very helpful because we can demonstrate like any this thing here. I have showed dark mode and light mode in separate flows. So it will be very helpful for us as well as clients who are watching this. So I'll be quickly showing last one example. Time is running up. So here I'll show exactly how I have done this animation. So here, this is the power of interactive components. So still in beta, So what I have done over here is that I have defined 4 buttons, and I have give a trigger for this as on click change to, because I need to change this button to this button. Okay. And animation is dissolved. So I just want it to dissolve into the screen. So when it reaches to the screen, I need to animate it automatically. So I just gave a trigger as after delay, and the main thing is smart animate. Again here I have given a trigger as time, because I need to happen I need to happen it without any delay. So I'll just show you, quickly run through all this thing. Here I'll give a connection, and I'll give a on click and open overlay, because I need to show this as an overlay, and click on manual. So you can define how this overlay needs to be displayed. Okay. So animation would be move in. So I need to move from down to up. As you can see, from down it should come upwards. And I'll give animation as 400 milliseconds. After this, I need to give connection as if you click on close, if you click on close, you can see, you can click on plus, and on click I can give as close overlay. And so if I click on close button, it will automatically go back to the screen. So I'll just show you. So yes, you can see the hotspot, and as you can see, the animation is happening very smoothly. Just because I have given a time animation, if you just click on this button, the animation is happening smoothly. That's the power of smart animate, because here the trigger I gave was only click, and after all this and rest of the screens are happening automatically, because the trigger over here was time delay. So after every 1 millisecond, it could go to the screen, and after 1 millisecond, it would go to the screen. That's it. And yeah, thank you. I hope you all found it very interesting. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I had to run, like I had to rush up quickly because of the time constraint. So yeah, I think you all have found it very interesting.
Azhar, you can probably stop sharing so that we can also ask you to turn on your video while we take some questions, if that's okay. Or okay, you can retain sharing, but it would be great if you could turn on your video.
Sure, sure.
Okay. So that was a very intensive, intricate, a lot of details. Azhar, I think like we have a time constraint, or you could have just kept on showing us a lot of demos, and I'm sure it would have been useful to a lot of people who probably wanted to play around a little more with prototyping. So as a UX designer, I know that I've definitely learned a lot today. Thank you, Azhar, for introducing us to prototyping with Figma. And probably, yeah. So basically, let's move on to the question and answer session. We have a few questions. So I'd like the people who probably asked questions in the chat to probably unmute yourself. Let me enable unmute. Yeah. So the unmute option has been enabled. So if you can probably ask, so we have Kumar Raja. Would you like to ask your question?
Yeah. Hi, Azhar. It was a nice presentation.
Hello. Thank you.
Yeah. My question was predominantly in terms of like, so if you look at UI team who is going to develop this prototype, so how considerate will you be towards the technology they use? Because most of the time you build a screen which is very fancy and it looks very good when somebody looks at it. But end of the day, reality, if you look at it, Not every animation we come up with is feasible in the technology they have chosen now. So how do you look for those elements and design for it?
So actually, recently I've been working on the project with the developer actually. So I'll be showing the developer, okay, in this screen, I need to want this kind of animation. So he'll be telling actually, okay, that's technically possible or no. So sometimes it is suggesting that, okay, so suppose that if I need to, I was working on some project called as, something that if I click on submit button, there is a animation which pops up saying that tick mark, it comes. So I actually discussed with him. I asked him, okay, whether this is possible or no. So he told me that it's quite difficult. So I told him that, okay, if I give a GIF, if I convert this animation as a GIF, whether it might work for him. So he told me yes. So actually I converted that animation into GIF and he implemented actually in it in his designs. So actually whenever I do some subtle animations or designs or anything, I just speak to the developer, and sometimes they say that it's technically impossible to do more complex stuff, obviously. So I just work closely with the developer, and if they need some JSON file also, I just convert my animation into JSON and I just give it to him. So yeah, most of the complex animation is quite difficult, I agree, but I just try helping him out how he can implement it in the design.
Thank you, Azhar. I hope that answered your question, Kumar. I think we all work as teams, and it's important to communicate and understand what our capabilities are. And probably, if that doesn't work, to work on the next best option. And it's important to keep the communication open and ongoing. So it's all about iterations, right? Like working in and out, right? So I think that's what we need to do. Yeah. So we have a question from Nived. Nived, are you ready to unmute yourself? Maybe come on video. Would you like to ask a question? Okay. I'll probably ask Nived, if you're not there, what's the difference between ease in and option which says ease in, ease out?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Nived, go ahead. Yeah, Nived.
Yeah, I just had a doubt in that ease in and ease out. So I don't find much difference. Can you just explain that part once again?
Yeah, that you won't find much difference. It's up to us what kind of animation we need to do. So I'll just that doesn't make much lot of difference. See, if you click on ease in, as you can see, you can see how it works actually.
Because in the demonstration part, it's the same thing which is being showing. Like whether you click ease in or ease out or ease in, ease out, it's the same thing which is showing up. So I was actually a bit confused.
Okay. As you can see, if you click on this ease out, as you can see how the animation happens. And there is like slight difference of ease in and ease out that you can make out when you play around with it, actually. You just all experience it yourself. What's the difference between all these things? But what I use mostly is ease out. And this is one of my favorite because it goes very smoothly.
Okay. And is there any particular time frame to be set for getting a proper animation?
Yeah, that also you will get to know when you actually play around. See, now I had set this animation to 400 milliseconds. So you just iterate and iterate. You just just play around. You feel like, okay, this time duration is perfect for this kind of animation. So I actually test a lot of times. I just modify all this animation duration. So you just have to test yourself, okay, or just ask your users or friends or any people, like, okay, this animation duration is a proper or no. So just to what I do is I just test myself with all kind of animation and all kind of animation durations.
Okay.
Thank you, Nived.
Yeah, thank you.
So we have extended the session up to 4:15 because Azhar gave us a great session, but we also want people to ask. So Nived, I just wanted to know what do you do and what tool do you use?
I currently work as a UI designer for a product-based company in Bangalore. So I usually use Figma.
Okay, great. Okay. So that's interesting. Okay. So we have someone, we have Thomas. Thomas, do you want to ask a question or?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah. I am kind of sort of a beginner in this field, currently working as an intern. While you are demonstrating the pop-up while hovering.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we add multiple interactions? Like while hovering, it should pop up, and on click, it should go to another screen maybe.
Yeah. You can add multiple interactions at the same time, and you need to know what to add. So now
Yeah. While adding an overlay, like in case of a button, it changes its color. We can do that, but while in case of pop-up, the interactions may not work properly.
Interaction, as you can see, there is only one kind of only one tooltip over here, so you can't add multiple interactions over here because there's no point, right? So if you can add also, it shows that it's not possible, because you can see a mark, it shows it's not possible because you need to display only one screen, right? So there are,
I mean, if it is a button, a pop-up should come whether it's showing its name or something. While clicking it, it should navigate to other screen like that.
Okay. You were asking in that way. Okay. Yeah, you can do that also. See, if I make a hover trigger, so soon as I hover, you will get this thing, and you can add multiple interaction if you click on plus, and if you click on click, see now because it's not showing because you need to have something over here, so you can do that. It's not a difficult thing.
Yeah, but I checked the forum in Figma. It is certain issue.
Yeah, there are some issues over there. They are working on it, and so, they have also released the interactive prototypes also. So I hope you have checked that. So in this, it will be very helpful if you want to show multiple interactions under the same box.
It is not available in the free version, right?
No, it's not available in the free version. I think you need to mail to the Figma team officially, and you might get a chance to get that option. So I got that, like I got in that way.
Okay.
You have to mail them. So if you're lucky, you'll get this option.
Thank you, Thomas, for bringing that up. Yeah, I think that's like, because we're trying to figure out, right? A lot of things are probably, being worked on and improved. So we have a question. Thank you, Thomas, for participating. So Arjun, do you want to go ahead and ask a question, and then we'll come?
Yeah. Thank you. First of all, say awesome presentation, because I had started with Figma, but I had not played around much with prototyping. So I think you had covered almost everything with the interactions, and also it was really awesome.
Yeah, I best.
Yeah, and one thing I always try was to make my presentations a bit more interactive. So I think that you had made your presentations much more interactive. So I would like to know one thing, which is that, is there any way we can export the presentations? Like, I've seen people doing illustrations in Figma, and I think they usually screen record and then cut it, or is there a way to get the prototype?
You're talking about the presentation, or there is an option. Okay, so if you want to animate a logo or icon or anything, you can export it as a GIF or export it as a JSON file.
So how can we export it? Like we have to go to that particular presentation and then export from that particular where we are actually prototyping window, no? It comes, no? One.
So if the whole presentation, I think you're asking that whether it's possible to export the whole presentation, right?
Like two different ways. Like one, I think is that when I create some illustration and I make small animations, is there a way to export that particular animation?
I'll show you. I'll quickly show you. I will take some time. Okay, I'll show you. There is a tool called as I'll show you quickly. Okay, I'll animate one icon over here, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay. So so I'll animate this icon. So there is a tool that's called as motion. Okay. You just need to open this tool, and this is a little bit complex tool. Okay, you just need to, if you're good at After Effects, then you will know how this works actually. So there are like few options over here. So X is all about moving horizontally, Y is all about moving vertically, W is increasing width, H is increasing height. This is all about rotating. So what I want to do here is I need to rotate this. So I'll click on this keyframe. So one keyframe is selected. So when it moves to 0.3 seconds, I want it to move up. So I'll create one more keyframe. And when it reaches to 0.6 seconds, I need to come down and I'll create one more keyframe. So as you can see, this is animation.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll add one more animation. I just want it this wheel to move up. So to move up, we need to click on Y because we need to move vertically. So just click on this. And when this goes up, I'll click one more keyframe. And when it comes down, I'll click on one more keyframe. So you can see this works. Okay.
I hope that answered your question, Arjun, because we're not on time.
It takes time. Okay, bro, I just show how to export this. Okay, so you can see this animation, right?
Yeah.
So just click. You need to have this called as motion plugin, and there is an option called as export. So you can export this particular animation either as a GIF or MP4 or CSS, JSON, everything, anything. So you just click on JSON, export, done, and you can hand over that file to developer so that he can use it on his designs. That's
okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Arjun. We'll just take the final question from Mohammed. Would you like to unmute yourself or come on video? Mohammed, are you there? Yeah. Can you tell us where you're from as well?
All right. Thank you. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So the question I have is about a particular prototype I want to try to do. So let's say you have a circle, a very big circle, and you have stars round, as in at the edges of the circle, round, and you want to be able to rotate those stars without moving the circle. Is it possible?
Okay, so he's saying there's a circle and there are stars around it, and he wants to rotate only the stars, right?
Yes, in a circular way.
Oh, so they want stars too. Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you. There's a trick for that. So what we are telling is that there is a circle, right? Circle, and there will be a stars. Okay. I'll just do it something like this. Okay. And what you asked was, I need to rotate it circular way, right? If I'm correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There is a cool trick. I'll show you. It takes a lot of time actually.
Do you want to just try and explain at least?
No. See, there's a cool trick. What you need to do is just draw a star, draw a circle, and draw an ellipse. Okay. Then group this thing. Group the star and ellipse. And duplicate this frame. And what you need to do is just rotate this and create smart animation. So it will rotate. You got my answer.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. That was an interesting question, Mohammed. So I'll end with one question. Azhar, do you want to share your inspiration on being updated on prototyping? One. And okay, Manuel, please go ahead and ask the question. Go ahead. This is the last question that we'll probably take. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so okay. from the previous question before this one, he talked about how to export prototypes, and you talked about the motion plugin. But does it work for like animating screens, not just icons? Like if I should do a prototype from one screen to another, is there a way to export that prototype?
Yeah. You can export. You can export. But it takes a lot of time to study that tool. Actually, that tool is a bit complex. You need to learn about keyframes. You need to know where to move the object, and you can animate the whole mobile screen or web screen in that. You can animate. It will work as it works in After Effects.
Okay, using
Right.
the motion plugin. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
motion. Yeah, just learn how to use that motion, and you are good to go. It's very easy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Manuel. Azhar, do you want to quickly share where you think people who are aspiring to be UX or UI designers, how they can stay updated on learning about prototyping? One, the other thing is prototyping, all the updates on Figma. What is the best way to do that?
So what I do is that I watch YouTube video of Figma. So they have their separate channel, Figma. So there they will be releasing like a lot of videos and stuff, how they work in Figma, how they animate in Figma, how they use interactive component, how they use smart animation. There is like dedicated video for everything. So I just go there and I just learn new stuffs over there. And there are like many videos and there are like many articles also. So mainly I just go to their official Figma YouTube channel and just learn from the experts.
Okay, great. I think, as a community, even as resources, Figma is quite useful. I don't want to disappoint. Okay, so this is the final question. So Shivam, go ahead. Everyone has a lot of questions for you. Shivam, go ahead.
Thank you so much to giving me a chance. Yeah, hi sir. This session is quite good and it's really amazing. I just want to know one more thing. In that case, I'm just want to know about the main component. So as you told us during the session that if you make the component main component and connecting with interacting with other skins, so you can just most probably go to the particular tab or favorite or the other thing. I just want to know how can I highlight that. See, if I make that main component and I just want to jump to the favorite tab, so I just want to highlight that tab, or you can say icon particularly. So how can you do that?
You're asking about this thing, right? How
yes.
Yeah.
Shivam, do you want to explain what do you mean by how do I highlight the tab?
I didn't actually get that.
Yeah, can you just explain? Because see, this is one of the very interesting features I found because instead
yeah. So basically, earlier I just facing some issues during prototyping, this kind of prototyping for main component. So there is a main component. There is a 3 tabs in the component, right? So one more you can take a home, or another one is a favorite, and third one is a search, right? So if you make it main component, and if I want to jump into the favorite one, right? So that should be highlighted, right?
Okay, so selected. He's asking how do you show that that option in the tab is selected?
Selected, because if you make it that main component, so I guess I can't be able to add it in other screens in that case.
Yeah, but that thing is not possible over here, because I just showed this an example. You can use this example in many ways. I just wanted to show a quick way of how it is useful. That's what, for you to highlight saves.
I guess I'll have to make 3 components.
And for that you need to create 3 components, and
yes.
But that thing is not available for everyone. Only few people get that feature. For right now, for free version, it's not possible. But if you have a pro version, or if you have that interactive component section, you can create 3 component, and then you can do.
Okay, cool.
As I showed over here. Yeah.
Yes. I got it.
Thank you, Shivam, for asking that question. And we're going to wrap up because it is quite long. And frankly, I did suggest to Azhar, probably we should have this as 2 sessions, but we wanted everyone to get an overview of the topic. So thank you so much, Azhar, for such an interesting session. And I'd like to thank each and everyone who took their time their valuable time from a busy day to attend this webinar. We will be uploading the session on YouTube for those who missed or probably wants a repeat and listen to the things that Azhar has spoken to us about. You can probably go and listen to it or share it with your friends. A special thanks to all the participants who made this Q&A session so interesting and interactive. Thank you, Kumar. Thank you, Nived, Thomas, Arjun, Muhammad, Emmanuel, Shivam. And thank you to all the volunteers of the IXTF Kerala team that worked behind the scenes to make this event happen. We've only touched upon the topic of prototyping with Figma. If you are on IXTF or on any of our social media handles, please do drop a message on the event and let us know how you found this session. If you have questions, probably you can drop it there. We hope to see you in our upcoming session, which is on 14th of October, which is on 8-point grid. And we are available on social media like Clubhouse, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram at the rate IXTF Kerala. You can also write to us at idfkerala@hotmail.com. We have an exclusive IXTF Kerala community in Interaction Design Foundation on their website. So stay safe and stay connected. Once again, thank you so much, Azhar. Thank you, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.